Hello besties, buckle in. Today we're going to talk about my favorite mods for The Sims 3. I did a video like this in The Sims 2, so let's get started. First off, we have Blackout UI. This is by the same person who did Starship UI for The Sims 2. It is essentially the same thing, except there are a few more quirks with it I've found. I also had a lot of trouble seeing the cursors, so what I did was I got a thing from, I think it was either Tumblr or Mod The Sims, but I'm going to link all of these down in the description, that are cursor overrides. They are the Sims 4 cursors in The Sims 3. And this, as a whole, was so much easier to install, for me at least, than the Starship UI in The Sims 2. You literally just drop the Blackout UI thing into your mods packages folder in The Sims 3, and you don't have to go into the game files like you do in The Sims 2 to replace everything. And for the cursors, because the UI override comes with its own cursors, you can use different ones. You just have to put them in your mods overrides folder instead of your mods packages folder, because they have to like load first or something. The other thing that I use in conjunction with this is the bigger font size mod, because I am visually impaired. I have trouble seeing elements on the UI. I've talked about this in past videos. That's why I have Blackout UI and Starship UI in The Sims 2. Sometimes I do struggle to see some of the text and stuff. Like, it's easier for me to read lighter text on a darker background. However, I have noticed that with buy mode, because of the way that The Sims 3 is, and build mode, I guess, anything you're looking at in the catalog, sometimes it can be kind of difficult to see because there is transparency behind it. And for the darker items, it's just like more difficult for me to see because of not as good contrast, but that's fine. I also got a version of the catalog search mod from Lazy Duchess that works with Blackout UI. Somebody had converted it. The catalog search mod, while I do like it, it does not work perfectly, I have found. It is supposed to comb the whole catalog in the game when you search for an item or a keyword, and I found that it doesn't really like point me into the exact place where the thing is. I have to like go into the category that I think the item is and then do the search and it'll find it. So I don't know if it's user error on my end or if that's just how the mod works, but I do use it for some things. I also have the smooth patch, which is also by Lazy Duchess. This isn't necessarily a mod, I guess, but it does help the game run a lot better, particularly because The Sims 3 is just not optimized at all. I have a pretty good gaming PC. My specs are good. I can run it on high or very high with minimal issue. However, because of the way that the game is coded and because of the open world, it does struggle sometimes with loading and rendering a lot of things. The smooth patch definitely does help that. Next, I want to talk about the suite of NRAS mods that I use by Twalin at NRAS Industries. These are essential for your game. The first thing I want to talk about is Master Controller with cheats plus integration. This is kind of like MC Command Center with cheats if you have The Sims 4. I don't play The Sims 4. If there's a version of this for The Sims 2, someone please tell me. Give me the information. I rely on these mods so much, it's not even funny. You can do so many cheaty things in the game with these, such as adding Sims to your family tree, cleaning all on a lot, repairing all on a lot, maxing your motives, removing certain moodlets, adding moodlets, increasing your skill level, even for hidden skills. I don't know, I just really like it. You can also like reset everything too, like reset the lot if something's bugging. I love this. You can do so many things with it. I just do pretty basic stuff, but there are a lot more advanced options. I also use story progression. I do have it override the EA story progression because I do find that it does a lot better with having things naturally happen in your world with Sims and stuff. I do also have the notifications turned off for it because they're really annoying. I don't care who moved in or moved out or got married or had a baby or died or whatever. In conjunction, I use Error Trap in Overwatch as well. Both of these are kind of self-explanatory. Overwatch just like watches over your whole world every night at a specific set time. I think you can change the time in the mod settings as well. It will go through a check and it will turn off any TVs or stereos, remove any stuck Sims, like reset them, get Sims that maybe have like wandered off the world or whatever. It'll just like fix everything. Like, it'll delete cars that might be taking up space in the world. It just kind of like helps to clean up your game. Error Trap, I sometimes get stupid notifications from this. A lot of it is due to routing Sims issues or stuck aging or stuck Sims. That kind of just resets them. Sometimes it will create an error log if there are errors. I've noticed that I've gotten errors with cars specifically in this game in pre-made worlds, like that are already populated, that ship with the game or ship with the store. Again, it's another thing to like kind of keep your game running smoothly. There are other things that I have as well that I don't really really use as much, such as mover or traveler, relationship panel. I also have sleep freedom, which opens up more like opportunities for sleeping in the same bed, like having two Sims sleeping in the same bed, so there's no issue with their relationship or whatever. It doesn't really matter. They can just go to sleep. And woohooer, which adds like risky woohoo options as well as the ability for teens to woohoo. I don't have risky woohoo turned on for teens, I think, at all. Like I think I just have it set to 0, but like for adults it's set to like a pretty low number, and you can change all of these in the mod settings. Of course, the Blackout UI does not work with any of these mods that I have because they have their own UI elements and pop-ups that come up, so that's fine. It makes sense. But the larger font size mod does work with it. It's very helpful for me. The next thing that I really love, especially if you have the store items like the wood fire oven, the teppanyaki grill, and the baker's station, and whatever, Cook with Any Ingredient by Icarus at Mod The Sims. Fantastic. There are cheats that you can enter into the cheat console. Like for example, I have it turned off, so like I don't want to rename food. So you can pick ingredients specifically to cook meals with. If you pick ingredients that are not required by the meal, I think it can affect the quality of the meal. You can tune all of these. All of the documentation is in the Mod The Sims info page, like for this specific mod. But I love that you can just use the oven, the regular oven in your Sims homes, to make literally anything. Like you can even make the child oven stuff, like the muffins and whatever. And you can make the stuff that you can get from the Seasons concession stands, like the donuts and the whatever else. I've used it to make pizzas. I've used it to make stuff from the baker's station, like the bread and the pies. I love it specifically for that. It comes with options to do that with, so like downloadable like add-ons to the mod. So if you don't have all of those things in your game, you don't need them. But like I love it because I don't want to have 800 giant appliances in my Sims kitchens. That's stupid and not realistic. If you have the Better Cooking Menu mod though, this one does conflict with that, so please be aware you do need to remove Better Cooking Menu if you want to get this, or vice versa. If you have this and you want Better Cooking Menu, you need to remove this. And also reset all of the Sims in your world. Like read the documentation. That's the one thing that I can recommend for any of these, is read the actual documentation for all of these mods. I am not your tech support. You can also swap out how the UI is displayed for this mod, so you can have it be the regular pie menu, or you can have it be the whole like pop-up that comes up, and you can choose which meal you want to make, like regardless of what time of day it is. So if you want to make pancakes for dinner, you can do that. If you want to make burgers for breakfast, you can do that. It also works with custom recipes. I have the challah and matzo ball soup recipes downloaded into this game. I'll link those in the description. They do require CC Loader, which is a thing that you need in order to have any custom recipes or custom skills. It's like a little tool that you just pop into your mods packages folder. It doesn't really do anything other than make those load properly. Those two specific recipes you can learn from the cookbooks that you buy at the bookstore or on the multi-tab. You need to have a specific cooking level to unlock them. I can't remember what they are. But the challah is under dessert, and the matzo ball soup you can make for either lunch or dinner. And because of the Cook with Any Ingredient thing, you can just make them anytime, and it's fantastic. I love it. You can also choose the amount per serving. It defaults to 8 because like that's the default group serving. I think you can make anywhere from like 1 to 12 or something. I think that's really cool because also the geostates of the food appear properly when they're done making it. Going along with that, as an aside, I do have the mod where you can buy any fish and any cooking ingredient from the grocery store just to make my life easier, because I am not about to go to Oasis Landing or Champs Les Sims to get specific things to make specific food. I think that's dumb. Next, we have same energy gain for every bed. This is essentially a cheat. It is a mod that adds a cheat into your game because like sometimes you want the cheap beds because the cheap beds sometimes look better than the more expensive ones, but the cheap beds don't come with a good energy gain, obviously. The cheaper the item, the less the motive gain is. This is sort of similar to a mod that I have in The Sims 2, except you can tune it, and The Sims 2 installation process for that similar mod is much more involved, particularly if you have the teen style stuff and IKEA packs, and you have to like double install things. You have to like put them in the game files so they're not custom content. In The Sims 3, you just drop the mod into your mods packages folder, and you can tune it by entering a cheat called Set Bed Energy. Finally, this isn't necessarily an essential mod, but I do like it, particularly with building. We have the Set Hour cheat. I believe this is by Lazy Duchess. It works exactly exactly as the set hour cheat does in The Sims 2, like the one that's built into the game. You just do set hour and you pick the hour. You do have to go by 24-hour time. So like if you're setting the hour to 1 p.m., you have to like do set hour 13. I like this for building. If I'm building something, sometimes the lighting on the lot might not be great, so I'll do set hour and have it be like in the morning or sometime in the afternoon, so like the lighting is better, like around noontime, specifically for like shadows and stuff. Those are what I think are the mods that you need for The Sims 3. I know there are so many mods out there because this game has been out for almost 20 years. It came out in 2009, we're in 2025, so we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary in a few years for The Sims 3, which is absolutely wild. I feel so old. Let me know down below what your favorite mods are, if you used any of these. I know I definitely glossed over particularly the NROS mods from Twalin. I can't even, like, you guys need to read the documentation for those or go look at them. Again, I will link all of these down in the description. I do have some other mods that I use in my game, but like these are the ones that I just thought were the most necessary to have in no particular order. Thank you so much for watching though. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.